plot armor, no respawns, just one man, two cities, and the deadliest weapons ever created. In a world-ending double feature no one asked for, Tsutomu Yamaguchi didn't just survive the first atomic bomb, he walked into the second like it was a sequel. While most of us complain when the Wi-Fi drops for 5 minutes, this guy tanked 2 nuclear explosions in the same week. This isn't fiction. It's not an anime origin story. This actually happened. And somehow, this man's story is both terrifying and weirdly inspiring. Hiroshima, the first bomb. It's August 6th, 1945. World War II is still dragging on. Japan's showing no signs of surrendering. Meanwhile, the United States has something new. Something that would change the course of history forever. Hey, before we dive into this man's story, can you guys write hello in the comments? It helps the algorithm push the video more. I promise I will respond to everyone. Okay, let's get back to the story. That morning, the skies over Hiroshima are eerily clear, and flying high above is a plane with a bomb nicknamed Little Boy, which is honestly a pretty misleading name for something that could vaporize a city. Down below, Tsutomu Yamaguchi is in Hiroshima on a business trip. He's 29 years old, an engineer for Mitsubishi, and he's literally about to head back home to Nagasaki. He's walking toward the shipyard when the world suddenly turns white. Little Boy detonates. Yamaguchi gets blown off his feet. He's roughly 3 kilometers, about 2 miles, from ground zero. His body is scorched, his eardrums rupture, and he gets a massive dose of radiation, but he survives. He stumbles through a nightmare. A city reduced to fire and shadows with people melting, buildings gone, and silence louder than any bomb. Somehow, he makes it through the wreckage, spends the night in a shelter, and then, plot twist, he decides to go home, to Nagasaki. Nagasaki, the sequel. 2 days later, this walking miracle is back in Nagasaki, bandaged, burned, traumatized, but breathing. He goes to the hospital, and on August 9th, despite just surviving the single most destructive weapon ever used, he reports back to work. Absolute legend. He's in the middle of explaining to his boss what just happened in Hiroshima, warning them that the US has a bomb unlike anything the world has seen. And right as he's describing it, boom! Nagasaki gets nuked. The second bomb, Fat Man, drops, and once again, Yamaguchi survives. The building he's in is reinforced, so he escapes with less injury than the first time. But still, radiation, shockwaves, chaos, death. Twice in 3 days. It's hard to even imagine that kind of trauma. He wasn't just lucky, he was unreasonably alive. Life after the bombs. So, what do you do after surviving 2 atomic bombs? Tsutomu could have faded into history quietly. Instead, he spent the rest of his life as a living witness. Someone who didn't just talk about history, he embodied it. He dealt with severe radiation effects, burns, infections, long-term illness. But he lived. Not for weeks, not for years. He lived until 2010. He lived to be 93 years old. For decades, Yamaguchi kept a low profile, but eventually he chose to speak out against nuclear weapons, against war, and for peace. He wasn't angry, he wasn't bitter, he just didn't want this to happen again. Ever. In 2009, he was officially recognized by the Japanese government as a Niju Hibakusha, a survivor of both bombings, the only one ever officially acknowledged. He became a global symbol, not just of survival, but of warning. He had seen hell, and he didn't want anyone else to. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. The legacy. Tsutomu Yamaguchi wasn't a superhero. He wasn't trying to be a legend. He just wanted to go home after a work trip. But fate, history, and 2 of the deadliest weapons ever built had other plans. And somehow, this quiet man, this engineer, lived through both and turned his survival into something meaningful. He didn't just beat death, he gave it purpose. So, yeah, next time you think you're having a bad week, just remember, Yamaguchi got nuked twice and still clocked in for work.